am here to talk about The Cloisters by Katy Hayes. This book was on my stack for a while. I picked it up at an airport, and I remember thinking when I saw it that I had heard of it somewhere. I don't know where, but it definitely sounded like my kind of thing. It's about this girl, Anne. She graduates from college, Whitman College in Walla Walla, Washington. She grew up in Walla Walla. She's eager to leave. She can't find a graduate school placement because her degree is in sort of Renaissance art history, but she's chosen obscure stuff, not the sexy stuff that people want. She does manage to land a summer kind of spot at the Met in New York. So she goes off to New York for the summer, hoping to, I don't know, make a name for herself, make a mark, find a way into further academia. But when she gets to the Met, she's told that place that they had said that they had offered her, the guy she was supposed to work for is actually away for the summer, so there's not actually a place for her until another academic guy named Patrick sweeps in and offers her a place at the Cloisters. Now, I didn't know the Cloisters was a real place when I started reading this. I had to look it up. But now I definitely want to go see it because I've been to New York many times. Did not know about this particular little museum in New York, and now it's on my list for next time I'm there. In any case, Anne begins working at the Cloisters she's working under Patrick's, tutelage, I guess, and working with a fellow student named Rachel, who will be going off to Harvard in the fall. But they're looking for, and this is where the story gets a little mushy. They're looking for tarot card, a connection. It has to do with the history of tarot, which again, totally my thing. But this was not well delineated in this book, and maybe it just doesn't matter as much as all the interpersonal stuff that's going on. This is definitely gothic dark academia vibes. It is set in a, reconstructed, medieval cloister. So there's that. It is academia. There is occult-ish things going on, but at the same time, despite the thread of the supernatural and fate being this huge theme, do we have choices really, or are the choices made for us? Like Anne's kind of, was I meant to be here? Did all the other doors close because this is where, and that kind of thing. Despite that, it's so mushy and so kind of vague, it doesn't have enough impact to really bring the vibes up. And at about the 60% mark is when we get the murder, because of course there has to be a murder if it's dark academia, right? It's also kind of a weird, it's a relationship between Anne and the gardener at the Cloisters, a guy named Leo. The Cloisters is growing, poisons like henbane and belladonna and, things like that, mandrake. So yeah, that adds an element to it, but at the same time, the relationship between Anne and Leo I didn't feel the chemistry, and it's all told from Anne's point of view, and she talks very much about, her push-pull feelings and everything, but despite her talking about it and ruminating on it, I didn't feel it. This seems to be a problem I'm having lately with books, so maybe it's me, because I'm just not feeling actually, though, the tension between Rachel and Anne that was like almost homoerotic, right? That felt like a better sapphic relationship than a lot of the sapphic books I've read lately. So, that was done well. You kind of wanted them to take it that direction a little bit. The problem is, none of these characters are terribly likable, which again seems to be a thing in dark academia. The narrator's usually unreliable. The cast of characters is morally gray at best, often. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. 3.75 because the vibes are there. I love the setting. I like the themes. I wish they had been a little more clearly delineated and that we had done more with the tarot. Anne starts reading tarot as she's learning about it and doing this research and everything. It was weird because some of the descriptions of the meanings of the cards in the book are different from what I would normally read as, or what I normally see things read as. But I know that, first of all, there is a wide variety of ways to read tarot. And second of all, I guess some of this might have been like old-fashioned ideas of the cards, since we are talking about Renaissance, Italy, and cards like that. I actually have a deck that is a reproduction of like a Renaissance. I pulled it out when I was reading this book because they were describing the cards, and they're very different from the typical tarot cards we think of today, which usually are a Rider-Waite. Anyway, yeah, the descriptions of the cards, what's weird is that she both describes the cards quite like in some detail, like, this holding a scepter and an orb, and there's blue and there's gold, but at the same time I still could not really picture these cards. I was having a hard time picturing them. But the back of the book does have, or at least the copy I have, does have like a chart to discuss like the cards and the meanings and the zodiac signs associated and all those things. Overall, I liked it. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars. It's more like 3.75. I was kind of all in, and then it started to drag a little bit. Anne gets less likable. The way she treats her mother is kind of awful. Her mother calls and is worried all the time. Her mother won't fly on a plane, won't really leave home. And Anne obviously feels stifled at home and wants to be out in the world. And so they're at odds, but still, I don't know. There was just something about it. I think I'm supposed to sympathize with or understand Anne, and I do to an extent, but at the same time, her unkindness towards her mother and some of her other behaviors, some of her decisions were really bizarre to me, even given her situation and her personality. I was like, why are you doing this? Like, why? What? But yeah, I don't know. It might be closer to a 3 than a 4 the more I talk about it, but I'll leave it at 4 stars because, again, I liked the vibes. I thought it was good overall. I know a lot of people said it was kind of boring. Yeah, it is true. There's not like it until like the turn, and like I said, it's like at 60%. Like, you have to get halfway through the book before there's a murder and there's other things going on. There's a lot of like feels and ooh, there's something not right here, and there's stuff going on behind Anne's back and she can't quite figure out what it is that's happening. But yeah. So that's The Cloisters. If you've read it, let me know if you know of other good dark academia or books with like weird tarot references maybe, because I do like that. I'd like to hear about that too. I have on deck The Next Heaven Official's Blessing, Volume 3, so I'm going to pick that up next, I think. And until next time, take care.